Hello and welcome to the Tamworth FC Social, a podcast all about Tamworth Football Club. You can follow us on social media at TFC Social Pod. You can also click subscribe below this video and switch notifications on to be updated when we upload new episodes. This time we're going to look ahead to Tamworth's double header against Rushall Olympic. The Lambs are at home on Boxing Day before heading to Dales Lane for the return fixture. Rushall are among the National League North strugglers at the moment. They got promoted along with Tamworth last season from the Southern League Premier Central. Rushall won the playoffs while Tamworth won the title. Now, Brett, Rushall seem to be a side whose form can be changeable. They didn't win in the league this season until their seventh match. They then won 5 out of 7 league matches. However, since November, wins have again been harder for them to come by. So, how confident are you for Tamworth's chances across the two games?
I think that we should be going into both fixtures fairly confident. I would still have been confident if it was during the period where they were getting results.
It's a tricky game because I think effectively it's our local derby. I think based on where it's timed across the Christmas period. It's just think I can't put my finger on it, but I think with Rushall it almost looks like they've kind of like run out of steam a little bit and they're just struggling maybe. You know, I've got a lot of respect for them and what they've done, and I almost got a little bit of a soft spot for them, and I hope they stay up. But I don't think they will. I think they will go down, unfortunately. Probably just not got quite enough about them to stay up. So I think for us, I'll say this and we'll go and get beaten now, but it should be 2 straightforward results for us. Plus they play on a 3G pitch, I believe, so that kind of helps us a little bit as well and means we're a bit more used to what we're used to at home.
On paper, really tricky end to the year for Rushall. South Shields at home before the 2 Tamworth matches. Do you think that will affect Rushall's approach at all with 3 quite hard matches back to back?
I think the emphasis really will probably show for the return leg at Dales Lane. You know, they would have had hopefully, they'd have had 2 real tough games by that point and with no real let off either. So I can imagine they'll be really feeling that.
I think based on some of the post-match interviews I've seen from their manager, Liam McDonald, they play an attacking style and they don't seem to differ away from that. Obviously, I think sometimes they're not obviously getting results because of it, but they do have their own way of playing.
It's obviously a feature of non-league football to have these festive double headers. Do you enjoy them on the whole?
I love it. I think it's the best part of the season. That, and always looking forward to whatever the last away game is, first home game. It's always a highlight. You know, we've had fixtures against Burton, which have always been good. The Nuneaton ones have always been really good as well. I think we had an obscure one year where we had Telford and Hensford. I think they were they were less exciting. Even one year where we had Hinckley. Again, it just adds that little bit of spice to the festive period as well. And the reason why they do it as well is that the gates are swelled that little bit more so that people go and that fans aren't travelling as far, which is, to me, that's what football should be all about. It's actually back to that root with the community. The players ain't travelling as far, so they're with their families. More families are likely to go to these kind of games.
I did. This sounds quite disrespectful to Rushall, but I did used to enjoy them when it was Tamworth Burton. That was always good, and I suppose the non-Eton games are good as well. But we don't. I think the reason I say this is we don't really have any rivalry with Rushall, so it's hard to just see that as a kind of as the usual kind of derby that you get over the festive period. So it's just another 2 games, really. I think for me. So it won't have that same, flavour as it would normally. But I think, I think there's a bit of a relationship there in terms of Liam McDonald used to be a Tamworth player. So he'll want to get one over us, and I'm guessing he probably comes over and, has us looked at and stuff sometimes. So yeah, there's definitely that in it.
It's over a year now since the sides last met in the league. Tamworth beat Rushall 3-1 at home last season and then got a draw in the away game. Is there anything we can read into those meetings?
Not to me, there isn't. Not to me. I think Tamworth are probably a much better side than what they were even then. They have to be from where they are in the league. And Rushall they're doing better than I expected, to be perfectly honest. I honestly thought they'd be bottom of the league. And obviously the way they came up for the playoffs, they weren't expected to do that, and they've done really, really well. So I don't think there's probably that much you can read into it. We'll be the favourites going into it, and we've got to take that tag on board and try and get the result.
I think a year is a long time in football. Again, as Graham said, clearly we're a much better side than we were last year because, let's be honest, again, no disrespect to the Southern League, but the Southern League is not that good a league. Not that good that you have to be so good to win it that you end up nearly finishing the year second in the league above by that point as well. So I don't think you can read anything into either of the results. Obviously, clearly, Rushall must be a slightly better side as well because, again, they're in the division above and they're not rock bottom, basically just turning up every week and going home. So yeah, not really. I mean, the best thing about having Rushall in this league really is that it just kept the Eton down for another year, and long may that continue.
Predictions time then, chaps. I want to know what your scoreline predictions are for both the home and away matches. So, Graham, would you like to go first?
I'm first. Okay, so I'll go Tamworth 3, Rushall 0. I see that being straightforward, hopefully. Away, always a little bit more trickier. We'll go 2-0 to Tamworth. We win these two games over Christmas. It takes us nicely into the new year. With that, hopefully, still, I imagine we'd still will be in second position or first, depending on Scunthorpe's results. And that then takes us nicely into the new year. We've got that big Scunthorpe game on the horizon, and if we keep getting results our way, then just a nice bit of momentum to go into the new year. And, as Brett alluded to a couple of weeks ago, December was always looked easier on paper, so let's just hope it lives up to that.
Brett?
I will say 3-0 at home and 3-1 away.
What happens, John, if the predictions are exactly the same and we both get this and the scoreline is exactly, say for example, we both said 3-0 and it's 3-0?
I think you share 3 points apiece, sadly. That's all for this episode of the Tamworth FC Social podcast. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on social media at TFC Social Pod. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button and turning video notifications on. Until next time, goodbye.